Hola amigos, el gato. Want to talk about games? Or you just want some more scratches? Want to go down? Yep, where the hell was I? Oh, that's right, gaming pickups. I got 6 new games. I've almost showed them with my fingers. Like, Finland isn't that close to Chernobyl, I still have only 5 fingers. 7 toes, but that's a whole different story. 6 games, 3 for Nintendo Switch and 3 for PlayStation 5. Even Steven. Anyway, let's start looking at what the hell I bought. We'll go with Nintendo Switch games first, and we'll start with the only game in this pile I actually haven't played yet. It's a game in a series that I've always been kinda interested in, and I do have one other game in this series also in my shelf, but never played that either, so yeah, I've just been interested but never actually got to play these. And the game series I'm talking about, and this game is Rune Factory 3 Special, game series being Rune Factory. You know, I've always kind of been curious about Rune Factory games because they, from what I've heard and what I've seen, they look like they're some kind of a deranged mix between Harvest Moon and Dungeon jrpg crawlers, something like that. I might be way off because, like I said, I haven't played these myself, but that's the image I got, and I always loved Harvest Moon. Well, to be honest, I only played the GameCube Harvest Moon and PlayStation 1 Harvest Moon, but I believe those are the same game. Yeah, I remember because I played PlayStation 1 Harvest Moon afterwards and I was like, fine, it's the same game. Not really a thrilling story about my adventures in Harvest Moon series, but yeah, that's how it went. This one apparently is a fantasy adventure spanning 2 worlds. That's one more than we got. Settle down in an idyllic fantasy town as a young adventurer with the ability to transform into a woolly monster. Sheep. That's a sheep. That right there on the cover is a sheep. What would you call sheeps monsters? They're great. Sheeps are great. They're cute. They kind of smell, you know, after you pet them your hand kind of stinks, but they're cute. I like sheep. Funny story though why I bought this. Well, maybe it's not that funny, it's mostly sad, but I was in a mall, I was in this one store and there were games, I was checking out those games and I spent so goddamn long checking out those games because I really couldn't decide if I should buy one or not, and nothing really caught my eye. After a while I kinda noticed that I've been hanging around there for a pretty goddamn long time, so I didn't want him to think I was checking out the place or anything, so fuck, this was cheap. This was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 euros. It was really cheap, so I'll buy that just so I won't look like a perp. Yeah, damn it. So yeah, that's pretty much why I bought this. I didn't really have, like, at that moment a real hankering to get into Rune Factory series. I would like to get into this. Give this a try. Maybe I'll give this one a try. But that's basically the reason why I got this. It was just, I didn't want to look like I'm casing out the joint. Or pickpocketing or something, you know. 5-finger discounts. Oh, no. Anyway, got nothing else to say about this. Let's move on. Next Nintendo Switch game I got actually made it to my Game of the Year list, and I love this game. If you've seen that list, you know what it is, because I only had one Nintendo Switch game on that, but it's The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. I always mix these names, they have so generic names. They're Tears of Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, and I'm sure the rest of them sounded kinda like each other. I actually beat this game a couple weeks ago, and I gotta say, I loved this. And yeah, when I was doing my Game of the Year list, I still hadn't beaten this, but I was over halfway through, so that's why it got on that list. And after beating this game, I'm not changing the position. It's still where it is, and god damn it, this was great. I fucking dug this. Such a great game, you know. It's one of those kind of overhead or isometric view Zeldas. It's not like those 3D Zeldas that they are these days, so you know. Although it is all in 3D, modeled like that, but it plays like the 2D Zeldas from top down, kinda. So yeah, I'm a bigger fan of that type of Zeldas than the 3D Zeldas. But in this one, you actually play as the princess, so that's kind of a refreshing change of character when you're playing in this. And obviously she's not a fighter like Link is, so you know, she kind of copies stuff. She makes echoes, you know. You see a table, you learn a table, you can make a table, echo of a table basically, and you can use those in. I like how this kind of takes some pages out of the Nintendo Switch, you know, Tears of Kingdom, and fuck, I keep forgetting that first one's name. It was something windy, I don't know. Link's farts. But yeah, kind of like in those, you use these physical, like there's real world physics, kinda, and you have to play around with those. You know, you're building your like if you need to get higher, you can stack up beds and just jump on them and get to higher place, or you know, stuff like that. You can make rocks and make them roll down. You know, if it's downhill. So yeah, and wind blowers you can use to create wind gusts. So you know, all that kind of nice physics play. I really dig that in games. That's always great. I love this game. This was great. Just fantastic Zelda game. And also, you know, you do most of the fighting, you kind of create your own monsters. You defeat a monster, you can learn its echo, so you can use it against other monsters. So there's kind of little Pokemon element in that sense, you know. You put your own monsters against other monsters. So not really that Pokemon-ish, but kind of same basic idea in a sense. So yeah, I dug that. That was great. It gives a nice strategic element in the fights, because you kind of have to think, you know, which enemy would work best on the enemy you're facing right now, in that sense. I like when games make me think, use my brain, so it won't just shrivel up anymore. Anyway, let's just move on. Next game I got, and goddamn, this is fun. I've almost beaten this. And I gotta say, if I had played this, when did this come out? Well, of course, it doesn't say the goddamn year. 2023. This was released 2023, and if I had played this that year, I almost bought this then, but there were two choices and I went with the other. I can't remember which one I went, but might have been RoboCop. Really loved that game too, but if I would have gotten this would have made my Game of the Year list that year, definitely. But now I got it, and fucking loving it. This is Nintendo's speciality. What games does Nintendo make better than anyone else? Platformers, and of course this is the king of platformers after Sonic. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yeah, it's the latest platform with the asshole plumber. Fuck, I hate Mario. Luigi. Thankfully you can choose your character, so I've been playing as Luigi. Considering how much Luigi's been in the news lately, gives a whole new meaning when you get that flower that makes you shoot. But yeah, this pretty much plays like one of those old 2D style Super Mario Bros. Games, so I usually prefer 2D over 3D in these older franchises, and Mario is... I really loved Super Mario Odyssey. I really loved, you know, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy. Fuck Super Mario 64 and Nintendo 64. It was a crappy console, and that controller was awful, and it was made for people with 3 hands, and those hands need to be crooked. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Super Mario Wonder, and oh boy is it a wonder. I'm always kind of surprised how Nintendo kind of manages to not exactly reinvent the genre, but they always do something kind of new. Usually Mario games, it's in the form of new outfits, and this time we got Elephant Man. Mario can turn into Elephant Man. It's a Dumbo suit, except you can't fly with your ears. You get a big fucking trunk that can spray water. If you find water, it only holds like a little bit of water. The water's kind of useless. You can't kill enemies with the water, but you can beat the shit out of your enemies with the trunk. That was a terrible elephant. Also, there's Bubble Mario who can shoot bubbles. I mean, bubbles at enemies, not bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. But you shoot bubbles and those bubbles kill enemies. And also there's Drill Mario. So finally, Mario gets some action with Peach, Princess Peach. He gets to drill her. But so far, other than those, there really isn't. There's the basic mushroom that makes you big, and there's the flower that makes you shoot stuff. And yeah, that's about it. I'm in the 6th world, halfway through that, so haven't seen any other outfits. That's kind of like Super Mario Bros. 3. I think that one had more outfits. Yeah, that one had, well, the basic mushroom, you got the flower, you got the raccoon suit, you got a frog, you got that thing that turned into a statue. Was that the raccoon suit? Well, you got the basic tail and that one, and well, I actually don't remember any. Well, there was the pea suit also, which sounds like someone peed in it, but no, it actually made you fly. So, you know, you could fly over the whole level. But yeah, basically, if you like Mario 2D platformers, you're probably gonna like this one too. There's like this whole thing, you're trying to get this Wonder Flower back that Bowser stole at the beginning, because he's going to use the power of wonder to change the world. And where do you get the power of wonder? It's from a flower. And also in most levels you can find this Wonder Flower too. and it'll make you see stuff, and it'll make you think you changed into something else. And sometimes it makes time go faster and time go slower. Now that I really think about it, was this made as a commercial for drug cartels? Cause it sure as shit sounds like that. Yeah, it's a Mario game and flowers make you see stuff. But hey, at least this time you're not trying to save the princess, so they changed that concept. Like I said, they're just trying to get the princess's drugs back. They're drug flowers. Flowers, wonder flowers, not drugs. Not drugs at all, just flowers. Regular flowers. That just happen to make you think all kinds of weird stuff and slow time at times. And speed up times, and sometimes you feel like you're jelly. Mario actually turns into a little blob of jelly. Yeah, sure, no drug references at all. And next I have my PlayStation 5 games, and this is a game I had on my Game of the Year list also, and I am loving this. This is really great, although this is a bit of a notch down from earlier games in this series when it comes to the overall story. It's still really intriguing. I'm into it somewhat, but not as much as I used to be. Maybe I'm getting a bit of fatigue towards this series. Could be, but yeah, the game is Like a Dragon. Infinite Wealth. Another Yakuza game, and I love these games, but every year I play the Yakuza game that comes out because they keep pumping this out every year. Well, there were a couple of years when they put out, fuck was that other series where you played as private detective, Judgment, and also they put out that anime related game also, Fist of the North Star. But let's face it, they all play kind of the same way, so yeah. In that sense, I'm kind of surprised I've been hanging with this series from the start up to this day. It's just I get bored easily. But the thing about these games is they throw in so much extra stuff, and there's so much variety in the kind of events you can do. These days though, when it comes to the side missions, they're so long. I skip like 90% of the text that they're talking, because those are not even voice acted, so yeah. And apparently this is the longest game in the series, so yeah, it's a bit of a chore. But still, despite that, I am loving this. Oh, and this is one of those jrpg styles. This is not one of those beat-em-up style Yakuza games. That's also what they did, They kind of changed the genre in a couple of these games, so that also keeps it fresh. And I said I'm gonna take a break. Probably 2-3 years. I'm not gonna buy Yakuza game, but next one's gonna be Majima Goro in a pirate theme, so I really want to see that, because Majima Goro is the best character in the series, so. But also, I am really intrigued, Ryoga Gotoku Studios. They're actually making that, it was called Project Century. They showed the trailer on Game Awards show, and that's looking like it's kind of going back in time, and also it seems like they toned down the humor, which in these later Yakuza games, it's kind of, I still enjoy it for the most part, but there's a lot of that, so, I wouldn't mind if they made a more darker story. I could be mistaken, but the trailer looked really brutal. There were like blood splatters and all when you were stabbing people, and it was like a lot of blood. I have high hopes for that one. I'm really intrigued by that. But Like a Dragon, still enjoying the shit out of this. You can't go wrong with these games. If you like these games, you're gonna like these games. If it ain't broken, don't go changing it around. Except they do go changing it around. Enough to keep it fresh. I kinda need a break. It's always such a huge chunk of time off from my gaming year when I play the Yakuza game. They're long. Next game I got is a remake from a classic that everyone seemed to love. I tried the original back when I was growing up. It came out in the 90s, and I was a bit confused by it. I really didn't get into it that much. I think the sequel looked much more intriguing, but they remade the first one. So now it was cheap, so I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it, I'll give it a try. I tried it, I played a couple of hours, and the game is System Shock. And from what I've seen, this has gotten, pretty good reviews. People are really liking this, but I gotta say, I didn't really get into this that much. It's a space station where the computer has taken over, and it's turning people into mutants, and all the robots and cameras are against you, and you're just trying to survive and try to take down the computer and escape and blah blah blah. Really interesting concept. I always liked that space horror thing, Dead Space, fucking fantastic. But this one, I don't know, it just, still, even though this is remade and it's got more modern controllers and obviously it looks way better and all that. They totally rebuilt the game from zero up. It's kind of slow moving, and the hand-to-hand combat was kind of stiff. It didn't have weight. I don't know. And also the enemies, what are those? Not zombies, but some kind of mutants or something. They look fucking green screened almost. They just, I don't know, they just pop from the surrounding. That it was really distracting for me. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling this. This is basically an action horror game in space, but not a lot of horror when you look at all those mutants and all those. They're more like funny looking than scary. I think in the 90s it was a different thing, but I never got that far in the game. I was kind of confused by the game. Yeah, this remake, it's definitely better. I'd play this over the old version, but still, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna give this a second chance either. I'm just gonna throw this in my shelf, and it's gonna be there, part of my collection, and that's it. I wasn't inspired. It didn't suck me in. It had kind of interesting story behind it, the whole start thing and all that, but yeah, it just wasn't my thing. Although I do have to say there are these other levels where you go in this computer and it turns into like this 3D flying game, kind of like those old descent games where you just fly in these caves and corridors and you shoot enemies. That one I kind of like. I kind of want new descent games, so that worked really great for me. But overall, wasn't my thing. Kind of like them all. And we're down to my last game, and I played the first game in the series before, and I don't know if I should be ashamed of saying this, but I played it a lot. I guess you could draw some conclusion from that, what kind of person I am. It's a simple person. But yeah, for the longest time, I wanted to try the sequel, and finally I got it. It was cheap, so anyway, the game I'm talking about that I got was, it's actually the third game in the series, which is weird because they don't have second game in the series, from what I know. And the game is Goat Simulator 3. Pre-Order Edition. Now, if you don't know Goat Simulator, that's basically a buggy mess. It's shitty weekend project, pretty much. You're a goat, there's a town, you go around terrorizing the people. You don't have to terrorize them, but you could. You can break stuff, you can find all kinds of weird shit. You can lick things, that's great, and you can kind of stick your tongue into stuff and drag them around with your tongue. And this being Goat Simulator 3, you do all that stuff more, except it's a bigger map, way bigger map. There's a lot more stuff you can find and do, all kinds of wacky and crazy stuff. Also, this time you really get to dress up your goat, and it's not just for the fashion. There's also stuff, that comes with the clothing. Like you can put on a hat that shoots lasers. You can put on a jetpack, which is a jetpack. You can fly around. There's all kinds of weird mini games. There's all kinds of weird puzzles in this. There's just stuff. It's a open world map, and it's a pretty big map in this one. And you just go around and you do goat stuff, like explode a nuclear bomb. That's a straight reference to Fallout. There's tons of references in the different games, and I believe different movies in this too. It's fucking wild. This game is one of those games you pop in, you kill time, and then you move on. But yeah, the first one was actually kind of I believe it was kind of funny side project or something for whoever made Coffee Stain North. That was the place that made. There's also Fish Labs. I don't know. Maybe they were publisher. I believe Coffee Stain at least made the first one by themselves. But yeah, it was kind of, they made a game where you play as a goat, and they didn't check the box or anything like that too much. So it kind of works, but it is a buggy mess. But that's kind of half the appeal of the game, when it's just like kind of broken down and buggy. Because mostly the bugs and all that, they're funny, because this game is all about being just funny and buggy. The bugs enhance the experience when you play this. This is really not like a life-altering experience in gaming. This is just, I like stupid stuff, so I want to play stupid games. I can't even say if this is a good game or bad game, because being a bad game is kind of its point, but it does that so good and I'm entertained, so doesn't that really make it a good game? in a sense. Like from technical point of view, this is shit. This is just pure shit. It's absolute garbage. But when that's the point, that's the appeal, then it's succeeded what it was trying to do. It's trying to be silly, technically broken mess. I don't know, for the last like 5, maybe 10 years, there's been this rise of just weirdest fucking simulators. In one you're a bread, in one you're a... I think there was one where you're a spider and, you can be cat and you can be all kinds of stuff. A squirrel with gun, that's one. It's just, I don't know, just suddenly those games got popular. I think the first Goat Simulator was the game that really fired up that genre. That's kind of weird side genre. I love those games. In a way, they're their own kind of thing. They're not trying to be like these multi-awarded games. The idea is just to be fucking nuts and psycho and create chaos. And usually they involve really fucking weird and fun physics. This one also has those. So yeah, they don't make sense, but that's kind of the appeal, that they don't make sense. The type of games you can just kill time. I doubt someone just puts in I am bread and focuses on that for the next month. I'm gonna beat this game 100%. I'm sure there are people who have beaten it 100%, but those are just people who had a lot of time to kill. But weird and wacky games, and if you can get these games cheap, hey, go for it. You might get a couple of laughs at least. If not nothing else. Goat Simulator 3. I played this one evening and I was entertained. I'm probably gonna play this a couple more evenings, randomly every now and then. It's just, I'm a simple man. I enjoy simple things. Like goats. Bah. Anyway, that was pretty much this video. So, fuck off and I'll fuck off and we'll meet back here when I upload some more crap. Go buy weird games. Like Goat Simulator. That's, sometimes you need to just disconnect yourself from this world and do something really weird. Just something that's fucking out there. I don't know, maybe if you're not feeling it, you can enhance the experience by smoking those flowers from Super Mario Wonder. That's just a suggestion, but yeah, I'm just gonna go. Goodbye!